All right, so you can obviously see that we are running on empty. Thank you, Jared. So if you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it. And consider subscribing and hit that bell if you like these kinds of builds and projects. Now, this is not a usual build or project. This is my daily driver. This is a 2015 Mercedes-Benz S65 AMG. It has a V12 with twin turbos and a 7-speed automatic transmission. It has 621 horsepower, 738 foot-pounds of torque, which is a lot, and it was the cheapest one in the country. But it's not for the usual reasons. It's not because it was in a fire or flood or vandalized or crashed or anything like that. This one is ugly. I mean, obviously, you can see what's going on here. This is a wrap, and this wrap was put on very, very poorly, and it's not even a color I like. I'm not a fan of black cars. I'm especially not a fan of matte black cars, and especially I'm not a fan of very, very dirty matte black cars. So today we're gonna fix all of that. Now, I know some of you guys are probably thinking, why am I wasting my time doing any sort of cosmetic modification on this car? It's not really that bad. I could probably change the colors of the wheels, and I can do some cosmetic mods and make this a little bit nicer and a little bit more livable. Well, this car is one of my favorite cars, and I think it is probably the best practical daily driver you can buy today. And also, this is the start of me changing my own image. I want something nice to drive around because I'm starting to take care of myself. I mean, if I realistically just drove this thing around as is, it would be the equivalent of me making a video with my fly open. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Now, I am a huge fan of the S-Class. I've owned a 2000 S500, a 2004 S600. Now, taking care of your car is one thing. Taking care of yourself is quite another. Thankfully, today's sponsor makes that last part super easy. I'm talking about Manscaped. I'm getting really good at these segues, guys. I don't need a stepmom or assistant or nothing. So if you guys don't know what Manscaped is, it's an awesome way to look and feel your best. So they hooked me up with this all-in-one performance package kit. So let's check it out. Now, they have their new Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology, which reduces nicks and cuts. It's useful. It's very useful. They also have a deodorant called a crop preserver and a toner spray, which is pretty brisk. It's very refreshing, and it's refreshing because both of these things go on your that's where it goes. There's also the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer, and you also get this, the Shears 2.0, which is for your toes and nails. Very, very useful if you're like me and your nails are constantly filled with crud from wrenching all the time. So for a limited time, you can get all of this plus 2 free gifts. You get the Shed travel bag, which is down here. You can actually fit everything in this travel bag, and you get the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. So go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off plus free international shipping plus your 2 free gifts when you use promo code Tavarish at manscaped.com. Go check it out in the link in the video description below right now. So let's begin, and I want to go from the front to the back because I'm a little bit concerned about how the front of this car is put together, and there might be some paint work. Actually, I'm going to be very, very surprised if this car doesn't need any paint work. I'll consider that a very, very big win. But everything on the front here is either plasti-dipped, wrapped, or painted, and all 3 of those things are done very, very badly. Now, to show you guys exactly how bad, I am just going to start peeling this off, and let me tell you how satisfying this is. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 13. This is like unwrapping a Christmas present, and hopefully I don't get any coal. But underneath here is a very nice chrome grille, and underneath here are my sensors and cameras and stuff, and those weren't working very well because they were being obscured by all these, well, essentially dirty stickers. Now, this is not a how-to because I am not an expert on removing wrap. I know that you just take an edge and you pull it, and sometimes heat is necessary, but what I also did was I left the car in the hot sun for a few hours just to make sure that everything was a little bit more pliable. And I do have a heat gun if necessary. And I know that on the sides here, on the edges, sometimes they do put a little bit of glue. So we're gonna have to get some Goo Gone or some glue and adhesive remover, and we can take that off. And oh, it already looks better. It already looks way, way better. You take this. Oh, there we go. Whew, this is gonna need a clean for sure. You know what's weird? They actually sell aftermarket black grills. And for the amount of money that somebody would pay to just put these stupid vinyl strips on, you can just buy a black grill. That already looks way better. And no issues with functionality. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, so this is looking so much better. Even in this state where it kind of almost looks like a police car that can do 200 something miles an hour. But let's just go over everything we did. And when I say we, I mean just me. Hi, Jared. This has a lot of flat panels, and tell you what, taking off the vinyl wrap off a very, very large hood, that takes a lot of effort because the glue that they used was actually not too bad. I mean, taking it off was a big chore, but the glue residue is not horrible. Actually, anywhere on the car, there is a little bit of schmutz on the trunk, but for the most part, taking off the vinyl, not horrible.
Vinyl's not horrible. Tinting headlights, don't do it. That was horrible. We've got one of the headlights done, and that was fun.
How long did that take?
It was almost an hour, I think, for this one, because you can't get it too hot, because then you damage the plastic underneath, and the threshold of the glue letting go and being too hot was like within 3 degrees, so yeah. It was this incredibly long process, but we've got one of them looking really good.
So take a look at this. I mean, there's still a little bit of glue. This needs to be polished out. This is not a big deal. I think they probably sanded this, so this needs to be wet sanded and polished, and it's going to look brand new. Now, look at how clear this is and how light it is, and look at how dark this is. I don't know why anybody would tint their headlights, because you actually need light to come through. I mean, it's the Mr. Regular joke, I tinted my headlights so they work less. It really doesn't make any sense. And also, this is some sort of tint that's just really, really glued on, and when you try to take it off, it comes off in these microscopic chunks.
Well, you could show the floor right there. That is how it comes off.
It comes off like applesauce. It's just like, it's horrible. I know that you did that one, so it makes sense that I should do this one, but I feel like I'm a betting man today. Rock, paper, scissors. 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. Okay.
Yay.
So, yeah, you win. You get to do it.
Oh. That's what we were winning.
I never established stakes. No, I'll do this one. That's fine. What we have to do for the rest of it is just take off the doors. And if you look over here, you'll see that the door panel, well, the door gap is horrendous. And that's not because this was in any sort of major crash. Yeah. So open this up, and this has a soft close feature, meaning that if you could do that, it should close. Yeah, it closes itself, but it still leaves a big gap. And that is because when they installed this just amazing wrap, they forgot to adjust these, the door strikers. All you have to do to adjust them is loosen these bolts and move this in slightly, and it takes all of 10 seconds, and they didn't do that, which is why I know that the people who did this have an insane attention to detail.
What's weird about their attention to detail is what trim panels they pulled to tuck the wrap into, and the ones they didn't. Like, the easy ones they didn't do, and then they pulled taillights, which are not easy to do on this car.
Yeah,
and
so if you take a look over here, the taillights have wrap kind of behind them, which I don't know. I mean, maybe it's possible if they just tucked it in, but it's really, really in there. So we're gonna have to take off the interior trim, and on one side it's easy, on the other side there's like a subwoofer in the way, so that all has to come out, and then the taillights have to get loosened just so we can get in there and get all this out. But it could be the case that we take one taillight out and realize that they just tucked it in there, so I think we'll just start with this one. And there is a bit of bad news, because when I took all this out, I realized that this was a sort of shoddy paintwork mess. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. This is a slightly different shade of white than this. This seems to be originally painted and the bumper was resprayed, because it looks like it was hit on this side. Not a major hit, not anything like that, but it was told to me that somebody in this car ran into something in the garage, which makes sense because right here on the mirror, there's a scuff mark. That's not a big deal, but down here, the paintwork is quite bad. They use self-tappers to put some chrome trim around here, and when I took it off, the trim just broke in 2 pieces, and I had to order that. That was $200. That's great. And right here you can see that the paint is cracked. It looks like they used some body filler, and it doesn't look very good. Now, you can't see this from 5 feet away. I'm not too concerned about that. So I think this bumper just could use a nice respray, but this needs to get chromed because it just has some nastiness in terms of paint. It is not plasticated like I once thought. It's just really crappy paint. So I used some paint stripper, some aircraft paint remover, and we ended up getting this. This used to be all black, and now it is nice and chrome, and this is very, very clean. The same goes for the emblem, the hood ornament, which looks awesome. And I tried to do the grills, but I'm gonna have to go through in every one of these crevices and just clean everything out so it's nice and chrome, because the entire OEM chrome section front of this car, how much do you think it costs just to get all that chrome stuff?
Mercedes, $2,300.
It is $3,800.
All right.
$3,800 for a grill, this grill, and the 2 grills right there in chrome. $3,800.
Yeah, that, I mean, it's a percentage-wise of the cost of the car new. That's not a
lot, but for me, that's a lot. So we're gonna try to just save everything we can. And maybe later we'll do an upgrade to the 2018 to 2020 body style, and that'll be a project for another day. Also, the wheels obviously aren't staying this color. I'm taking them off at some point and taking off the tires, and then doing a complete chrome. I think they're chrome, but they also might be like a polished silver, so I'm gonna see what I can do with those. I'm gonna take them over to Mike from Performance Coat, and we'll get them powder coated, because these are not painted with the same crappy paint. These are actually powder coated. I tried to use aircraft remover paint stripper on those, and nothing happened. It just didn't do anything, so these have to get professionally done. What else do I need to do on here? Oh, this actually needs to get painted in black or vinyl wrapped by a company that knows what they're doing, right?
That'll do a good job and tuck the edges. Like, again, where they tucked and didn't tuck, you can see moisture was underneath and lifting, and that can actually, when you get dirt, that can start scratching and create rust spots. So
yeah,
he wants the all black roof. I get it. It doesn't make any sense when everything else is black.
Yeah. So I mean, you have black, black, black. And this is actually painted from stock, and this has some clear coat damage, which this needs to get painted. So I'd rather just get this painted and have everything matching, and then have a white car. And that's not a Panda. A Panda would be like the entire top of the car would be white, and then the bottom would be black, or vice versa. Like, this is just like...
Well, a roof, again, normally it's hood, roof, and trunk, but I'm still going to call it your Panda car.
It's not a Panda car.
It's a Panda car.
Just like that, all the wrap is off, and this thing looks like a different car. I didn't say new car, it's a different car, because when we took the wrap off, we realized that there's a few sort of blemishes, imperfections, and some things that definitely need addressing. But first impressions, what do you think?
A lot better. It looks sophisticated and mature, but also, you can still have a good time.
Dude, this is hot. This is like really good. And I thought that I wouldn't like the black wheels with the white car. Honestly, I'm kind of rethinking that decision, because I've realized that I sort of like this motif. I have black wheels with white car there, and I have dark wheels with white car there. it sort of makes sense. So I might just leave those wheels the same color, because when I clean them up a little bit, they look not too bad. Like, it looks pretty good. On the camera, you can't really tell because they're just so dark. But once they're cleaned up, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But there are a few blemishes, right? It hasn't been smooth sailing.
No, we found a few things, and the wrap was hiding a lot. One, we finished detinting this headlight, and we found with its garage hit, they just hid the damage. So
well, I already knew about this damage. I knew that this was cracked, but I didn't know that it was this cracked. So
with a big chunk just filled in.
Oh yeah. So this is it just filled? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's just filled.
Interesting. So there's a huge crack here and a bunch of really bad scratches.
One back here too.
Yeah. So it looks like it was just kind of hit in this general vicinity, and it scraped up a bunch of stuff because that door's been repainted all the way back to that back bumper. There's like touch-ups everywhere, and you can tell that they didn't use exactly the right materials or the prep work, because it just...
Yeah, not the right promoter. We did well though when you consider the 18 million square feet that make up this car.
Absolutely.
This is our only paint hole.
Yeah, so that came off, and that is not, I don't think that's stock. I don't think that's Mercedes OEM, but I think this is something that a body shop could figure out. Not a big deal.
One thing we fixed is that right there. You showed that horrible body line and giant air gap, and
well, I'm going to check the other side. Also, look at the back. I mean, it just looks great. Now, these are tinted taillights. They're slightly tinted. It's not super dark. I just didn't want to spend literally 5 hours detinting these, because I could probably just get a new set, or I could just get a set that is for the 2018, the facelift model, because I think I might be doing the face and... Is it still a facelift if it's at the back? Is it a butt lift? Is that
yeah,
a butt lift?
It's the butt lift.
Okay, so we're gonna do a face and butt lift. Now, if you take a look over here, there's quite a bit of door gap. So we're gonna fix that real quick. I'm gonna show you how to do it. This striker right here, just take handy dandy socket and move it a little bit and just tighten it down. Let's see if it closes. That's soft close, and oh yeah. Look at that panel gap. That is perfect. Dude, this is mighty fine. I mean, oh boy. That's
You getting a Dutch angle there for it?
that's a Dutch angle. Actually, we're really too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
In the front, unfortunately, we have some issues, because when we took off all the nasty tint, that left a lot of nasty marks. So we will have to do some sanding and polishing. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this, because maybe I'll do the front end. And there's a reason why I might do the front end, because this was also painted, and in order to take off the paint, I have to take this entire thing off, and in order to take this off, I need to take the entire bumper off, which is pretty decently sized project, not something I want to tackle right now. And in addition, the trim here is broken, and I don't feel like fixing it, so I ordered a new one there. And also the trim here, I cleaned it up as best I could, but it's still a little bit hazy, and this has a ton of just nastiness where all the paint was. And this is after probably 2-3 hours of me just manhandling this with a brush, and it still looks like this. So this probably needs another hour or so into it, and then it can go back on the car. But I figure that I shouldn't just leave it like this. This needs like a full paint correction detail, right?
Yeah, it needs the polish. Anytime you pull this much glue off the paint,
yeah, it's
gonna leave so much residue where there's goo off and cleaners, and then polish and let it shine.
Yeah, so what's that?
I'm collecting so we can see how big of a pile. Maybe you can jump in it like leaves.
I'm not gonna jump in this. This looks like it's gonna take over my body and make me do things I don't wanna do. On video, this is gonna be like, oh, it only took a few minutes. This was like 6 hours.
It was a little more than 6 hours because we actually started time break yesterday.
Yeah.
And I jumped in to help because we had planned to do some Wrench Everyday filming. And I'm like, oh, we'll button this up in the morning after breakfast and do Wrench Everyday filming.
That didn't happen.
And it's dark out, and it's time to go home, and the Wrench Everyday project's still there. So it takes a lot of time if you're doing it careful. You can leave little, vinyl and cracks if you want, or you can do it right and take things apart. And it's worth it though, because it looks so much better.
Yes.
Absolutely so much better.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys let me know in the comments if you want me to keep this wheel color or not. Definitely it's going to be a little bit more glossy. You want to keep the wheel. Yeah, but you have like dark colored cars and...
Well, this is a light colored car, and the black will accent the carbon and the other black. It's the right amount to offset the chrome.
I sort of agree with you, but I do have one thing that I'm putting on this car, and I want to show all of you guys because I think you're going to really, really like it. In this car lies this. This is a steering wheel. If you look at it at this angle, it's a clown face, and now you can't unsee that. I'm going to de-clown face this car because I got a brand new steering wheel. My friends at CKM Car Design sent me... Oh...
That doesn't look like a clown.
No, that we are de-clowning this car. So this is a carbon steering wheel. It has a white matching our white there, and I don't want any Alcantara, nothing like that. It's just white stitching on the perforated leather. Has a brand new airbag, and it's also stitched in the same way. And these are interesting because this is actually like a touchpad. So these are touchpads. You can go like up and down, left and right, and all that stuff.
So you can put God mode in?
Yeah, so you can, big head mode. If you take this out, see that it has some nice paddles in the back.
Do you currently have paddles?
I do, yeah, of course.
Are they big paddles?
I mean, they're around this same size, but you could get bigger paddles. They make like carbon fiber ones that come out to here. I don't really need that on this car.
Yeah, it's an automatic. It's not a dual clutch, so
it's pretty fast. It's actually it's faster than the ISF shifting, for sure.
Okay.
So, I mean...
how many more years newer and how many more hundreds of thousands of dollars was this?
Right. No, I'm not... I'm just saying that the ISF is a fast shifting automatic, correct?
Yes.
And it has paddles, correct?
No. Right.
Yes, so what I'm saying is...
You don't have to use them. They're fun to have to make the noise.
No, you don't have to use them, but it's nice to have.
They're not there
Jared gets so offended when I say anything about the ISF. He's like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, huh? Well, I mean, this is like a $200,000 car. My ISF was 12 grand because I got... No, okay.
And it has the same divorced exhaust pipe.
It's a very... Yeah, they're fakes, okay? They're not divorced. They're not Venturi effects. They're fake exhaust pipes.
They're having a fight. They couldn't stay together for the kids.
Mommy and daddy are fighting. That's
but
true.
This is going to look better.
I think that's going to look way better. So I think in the next episode...
Star mode?
Yes.
So that's invincibility.
Yes, that's invincibility.
That keeps you from getting pulled over?
Mm-hmm. And what happens when you get pulled over, you have to use this and call your lawyer because this car goes real fast. Also, I got a speeding ticket.
Yeah. Speak of the devil.
Yeah, speaking of the devil, I got a speeding ticket, and that is because of that right there. This car looked really, really suspicious, and I was just driving, and yeah, this car got pulled over real quick like that. And what's funny is Jared was driving right in front of me, and he had a truck that was very non-assuming, doing almost the same speed as me.
The exact same speed, and the cop was just kind of waved me down and told me to slow down.
And then he sees this thing and he's like, stop! All right, so next episode on this car, I have to put that in and then start the process of doing all of the maintenance on this car. So we have to do all the spark plugs. You'd think that would be easy, but not so much because this has 24 of them, and the spark plugs are all iridiums, which are like $8 each. So that's several $100s in spark plugs. Then you have the air filters, the fuel filters, all the fluid changes because you have hydraulic fluid in the suspension system. The brakes, I got new brakes because
those are lipped and worn out.
Yeah, those brakes are real bad. Then I don't know if I'm going to be doing these tires or not, these wheels rather. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a different color, so you guys let me know in the comments. But we have to do something about this front, just like lip area, this grill, this headlight situation, all of that has to get sorted, and I have to wait for my detailer to get here, because if I detail this car without him, he's gonna be very, very mad.
Probably because we might make it worse.
We're definitely gonna make it worse. So I definitely want Rex on hand to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Actually, you know what? One thing that is left on this car before I...
Oh.
Yep, so hold this. So actually, you know what? You do the honors.
No, you do it. I'm not gonna take that. You worked very hard. You hand polished your knob.
I polished my knob. This used to be black and just all disgusting, and now it is stock. So we put that in there, and then we got it. You know, it's usually easier when you don't have a camera pointing at it.
That's everything we do.
That's everything we do. Okay. And
Okay.
now we're okay. Make sure no
Yeah,
phones are.
Phones, tools left. No. Okay.
No.
This isn't soft close, is it?
No. There we go.
There.
Oh, dude. It looks like a taxi now. Woo! Looks like a German taxi. Dude, this looks really good. I am thoroughly impressed. And fix the panel gap here, so the panel gap here is the same here, and it's not just this giant monstrous mess. Man. I can't believe this is my car. All right, so you can obviously see that we are running on empty. Thank you, Jared. So I'd like to thank Manscaped for sponsoring this episode. Definitely go check them out in the link in the video description below. And also, you should definitely get one of these cars, because I am falling in love with it. But until next time, this is me reminding you guys that on cars like these that need a little bit more work, but will be epic, epic, epic daily drivers, you guys need to build it better. And to do that, you need to wrench
Every day.
every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
and peel every day.
and peel every day, and with a giant pink chicken.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was. How much did you pay for that?
I told Emily it was $10.
It was. That's more than 10. Jared lied to his wife. Bye bye.